So I don't know if you listened to Abigail Strier's recent interview on Rogan. She was pushing this new book. I think it's called Bad Therapy. And she specifically got into some PTSD stats that I thought were really interesting. And I wanted to get your opinion on everything.
Yes, I'm excited.
So she was, the book is against therapy for people who don't truly need it. She thinks a lot of us are overprescribing it and that we aren't telling people that there actually are side effects to therapy, which I didn't know. Who would have thought that there's side effects to that? You thought you were going to talk to a professional, air quote professional. So she was comparing the stats with Israeli soldiers compared to Canada and the US, and they're significantly lower, which I actually thought was surprising because they seem to kind of be constantly in the thick of it. And you would think that that would overtax your nervous system and that would create more PTSD. But what she found is, so the stats for the Israeli soldiers are, and this is just roughly, was 7.7 to 8.5% of soldiers that had PTSD. The US was 11 to 23%, and Canada was 6 to 17%. So huge discrepancy between Israeli soldiers and the West. And her rationale for this was that in Israel, they'll take you out if you witness something bad, you get injured, they take you out, but then they throw you back in. And it's kind of that old school parenting, which is brush it off, kids, you're fine, go back in there, and not over validating your monkey mind. Where here we're like therapy, we label it, and then once we have that label, you create an identity, and then once you have that identity, boy, is that hard to shake. So you are depressed, you have personality disorder, right? And then you're like, I am depressed. Well, no, you just feel like shit. Don't label yourself as this, otherwise you're going to perpetuate that thing. So what you see is that kind of trickles down to the kids, and then the kids have all of this angst because they're getting labeled prematurely, and then the effects of that. And then you see that with parenting, and I don't know how much the gentle parenting has taken over Canada, but has taken over the US. And there are definitely beautiful parts of it that I incorporate in my parenting, but I also have discipline, rules, boundaries, feedback. Like, it's not a free for all. So gentle parenting is the kid falls down and scrapes his knee, and you know it's not bad. What they tell you to do is not say you're okay, because that says you're invalidating their experience. Is you're supposed to say, are you okay? Is it a big hurt or a little hurt? And that sounds great. And I was doing that. And Abigail's like, no. But if you look at the Israeli model, if it isn't, you know it's not a bad injury, you're fine. So that's what I used to do until you see all this gentle parenting stuff. You're like, I'll try that and see how it feels. It seems more empathetic, but you're the adult in the room. So you actually are supposed to be the one that when they look to you, they're crying, and you want to reassure them that, yes, this is painful. Not all pain is evil. You can do hard things and you are fine. So it's a difference between maybe he fell off from the playground and you don't know if he's okay. Then you ask, are you okay? But if it's something little, you are okay, brush it off. So do you think that the brush it off method is invalidating feelings, or do you think that that is kind of a necessary thing to create anti-fragility and resilience?
So I'll tell you what I do with my son. Which is a mix of both. In terms of the gentle parenting comes in for me where it's teaching him about his feelings, meaning, are you feeling it in your stomach? Are you feeling it up here?
We do that too.
Yeah, and because then that way they can describe to you if I'm upset. Are you angry or are you anxious? Are you hungry? Are you sad? Where does it hit in your body? So he can understand, well, we know that it sits here, so we know that it's not this. And then you've got the other side of me where it's, my son is a terror. That guy is a ripper. He doesn't stop from 4 a.m. to 7, and he has put his teeth through his lips more times than I can count. Yeah, he's a ruthless kid. But if I know he's okay, I was a paramedic, like, you're good, bro. And he'll look to you and he'll look at your face and you go, you're good. It's just a little scrape, man. You got this. You got it. Move on. You're good. So I don't ask him if he's okay, because I can see it most of the time. If he's got a head injury or he's broken an arm, I'm like, well, you're good, but we're gonna get that fixed. No big deal. Does it hurt? Yeah. Okay. How much does it hurt? 1 to 10. And then we go from there. So we help him self-diagnose rather than tell him how he feels if it's something severe. Now, this is interesting. So ironically, Jocko asked me something on my first episode that actually was a really good question, and I enjoyed it because no one asked me. He goes, do you think if you weren't ripped away from the British the way you were, and somebody sat down with you and said, hey, Kels, what you're feeling, totally normal. What you're going through, 100% expected. This though, you got to move through it. You can't hold it. But instead, I was told, you're broken, you're injured. It would have been less paperwork if you died. Take these 11 drugs, go back out to the gun. Here's the thing. I didn't need to go back out to the gun. I needed to stay with the British people I was just hurt with. And I needed to go back out and get not over it.
Closure.
But I need, yes, 1,000%. Now that may be harsh for some people, and there are levels to this game, right? There are some people who genuinely shut all the way down, and they're not going back out there.
And then you're a risk to other people.
You're a risk to others, you're a risk to yourself. And so I get that, but I wasn't at that point. I was at the point where if they would have got me and been like, okay, we're going back out again next week, it would have been hard, but I know that I would have been able to process in that time frame. But they stopped the process and my ability to move through it by medicating and by saying you're broken and by telling me I had PTSD while I was in the country. So the labels were immediately put onto me, and I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
So no, I agree with a mix of the method, because there, like I said, there are levels to the injury. You can see them and they present pretty obviously really quick. That being said, it is hard to send people back out because you don't know if they're going to be a risk to other people. It's no longer just about that person. It's about the person to the left and right. So it has to be looked at differently. But I can fully understand why Israelis would be less prone maybe to post-traumatic stress disorder. Look at North America in general. Look at the way that we treat people when they get hurt or their injuries. We coddle, and we helicopter parent like it's crazy. And we create these anxious states for people and tell them that they're everything from the sun. And then, of course, I was for sure one of those captured individuals with "this is my label." And I had to sit with that for a long time. And there was a moment I remember in therapy where I sat there and I was like, I don't think I'm this thing anymore. But it's terrifying, because if you're not that thing, then who are you? Because you didn't know who you were when you were always medicated. You don't know who you were for the past 7 years, your whole 20s. And what does that look like moving forward? That's the fear of leaving the label is terrifying. But once you're able to realize that it was a label. That's what it was. And your body just wasn't given the chance to process, and it was held in time by all of the SSRIs and the uppers and the downers. So I agree that there needs to be some change made. And I think that's why the Israelis, Israel's been attacked for how many hundreds of years, thousands of years. They're born and bred in war. It's the same way when you go to Afghanistan or anywhere else. It's like these children, they don't flinch necessarily when they hear a bomb drop or an AK pop off. They're born around this. Their nervous system is developed in what I would say stuck in a fight or flight state. And I'm not arguing that that's good, because we understand what that does to the cortisol levels, the long-term damage to your body chemically. But of course, that makes sense why Israelis have less of it, because they are born and bred around it.